we also need to read a budget. So what do you think that this is what is going on, or Wiper Party is really serious about what they want to do?
This is the reality, Jagero. Yourself, Joachim, myself, Odhiambo, and a few others have come here many times.
Okay.
And one of the constant factors that we've kept discussing is that the alternative government and the opposition of Kenya has no tangible deliverables that they want to do to the country. Now, this has been able to weigh down on them. And now they are being reactive. They are feeling like Kenyans are saying we are not offering any solution. So I think they met somewhere in a boardroom and said, why can't we be able to structure something that looks like a solution, at least so that this conversation can be able to die down.
Okay.
So for me, first of all, what they came up with is a reactional response anchored more on populism. Populism, Jagero, is whereby you say something that you don't necessarily intend to believe in, but if it can get you the vote, then that's okay. And that's why you look at it, they are talking a lot about such things like SHA, for instance, that we are all talking about. But the party leader of my brother there wrote a letter to SHA to request for increased package. The same thing was able, that request was actually made. And no, up to today, they have not been able to descend it and say that we didn't, because it's easy. Media communication, when it comes out and it's fake, it will be stamped. We will be able to
it was pronounced to be fake.
Yes.
It can't be pronounced, and you are the only one who knows it, and you also come from Wiper. So can I be able to proceed?
Yes.
I listen to people silently.
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking to you.
I will give you an opportunity for sure.
I'm telling you, they are called populist ideas.
Okay.
The universal healthcare as a concept is a Vision 2030 idea. It is in the Vision 2030. So first of all, it is not that President William Ruto came up with the universal healthcare concept. It is something that started then. Progressive administrations, including the previous administration, tried to implement these and failed and moved away from it.
Okay.
So President William Ruto comes and says we must be able to implement it. And that is how SHA comes in. Now, the conversation should not be that SHA or NHIF is better than SHA. Because the reality is that all of us would be able to know, anyone seated anywhere knows that SHA is much better than NHIF. Because first of all, SHA...
Because it was expanded.
Because SHA was expanded. Whereas NHIF was only talking about primary health care. This one talks about the primary health care. It talks about the chronic illnesses and emergency treatment and all that. So first of all, in its concept alone, SHA is way expanded. It does not just, when you look at even access, NHIF, you could only access it. You would pay today, Jagero, and then you can only start getting treatment 3 months later, or is it 6 months later? And when you failed to pay for 1 month, then you had to suspend your sickness and again wait for another 3 months before you can then use NHIF again. And more often than not, it would only cover your bed and nothing more. Today, Jagero, you get sick today, you pay for your SHA today, and SHA is able to actually cover you from today. And that is the reality. So we cannot be able to actually even talk about that comparison. Two, SHA today is talking about the community, it's talking about the hospitals. How do our hospitals even look? So it does not just stop at being simplistic from the face value. The real conversation should be that does the implementation of SHA match the ambition in SHA? Because the ambition in SHA is wide, but the implementation has not gotten to where it needs to be. So somebody coming up as an alternative should be able to show us how they will be able to ensure that SHA meets the ambition that it needs to.
Okay.
For instance, is it true that it's having some funding challenges? It's true. Yeah? Is it true that we have Kenyans who have actually onboarded on SHA, but they are not paying their premiums? It's true. How will you then make them pay those premiums? Is it true that now most of we have budget like what the hospitals need vis-a-vis what SHA can provide? There is always a disparity there. That is true. But now that is the implementation framework of it. So any serious alternative will be able to be telling us how are you going to mitigate that. You cannot be able to face Kenyans and now tell them that you are going to move them away from universal healthcare and take them back to NHIF. NHIF was here, Jagero, and we were all complaining about NHIF. NHIF was here, and NHIF had a lot of bills that they had not sorted. You can remember when SHA was coming in, one of the challenges they had was that onboarding the debt that NHIF had already incurred in the hospitals. So alternatives are about solutions that are progressive. But when you are simplistic and when you want to be populist, you come up with such flimsy things that cannot actually hold water. And that's why everyone is asking the questions, where are you getting the money and all that? When you come up with things like 80 billion that I've talked about, that you're going to fund youth employment, the question is, youth employment is not just created by money. So what exactly, how many jobs, where, how is it going to be done? Those are the realities of now the implementation framework. And that is where the opposition now more or less fails on that. And I think even the media, when I looked at when the media was covering that, I felt the media also did not get exactly what alternatives were being offered. And that's why you listen to most of the media coverage, they covered more what they said after the main press conference than what was actually in the press. So it was more about the other off-cuff conversations.
Do you think that the media, the media sort of decided that, no, we are not interested, you are lying to Kenyans, so we are not going to talk about it?
I do not think so.